Even the greatest sitcom of all time has flaws. Yes, Friends, the show that defined the 90s and still dominates streaming today, is filled with mistakes hiding in plain sight. And once you notice them, you'll never watch the series the same way again. Friends is more than a sitcom. It's a cultural landmark, a show that shaped humor, fashion, and even the way we talk about relationships. From the moment it premiered in 1994, Friends became a phenomenon. And even now, decades later, it continues to win new audiences all around the world. But behind its perfect timing, clever writing, and unforgettable characters, Friends hides a surprising number of inconsistencies and small production errors that most viewers have never noticed. So in this video, we'll take a closer look at 10 of the most interesting and surprising mistakes in the series, and then finish with 5 bonus contradictions and curiosities that might just change the way you remember the show. Number 1. Ross's changing birthday. Ross's birthday is one of Friends' most famous inconsistencies, and honestly, one of the hardest to keep track of. In season 4, he says his birthday is in December.
Oh, mine's December.
Yeah, whatever.
But in season 9, he celebrates it in October.
You know my birthday?
Sure.
October 18th.
And earlier in the show, he even mentions it being in March.
Happy birthday, pal. We love you, man.
It's funny, my birthday was 7 months ago.
Fans have tried for years to rationalize this timeline, some suggesting he celebrates twice a year because of his divorces, others blaming poor continuity editing. But the truth is simple. The writers never kept a consistent timeline, and Ross's birthday became a running accident that nobody ever corrected. Number 2. The apartment number swap. At the start of the show, Monica's apartment is labeled number 5, and Chandler's across the hall is number 4. But later on, they magically become 20 and 19. This wasn't an artistic choice, it was a practical fix. The creators realized that Monica's apartment, which overlooks the city, wouldn't be on the 5th floor, so they quietly changed the numbers without any in-universe explanation. It's a subtle shift that reflects how Friends evolved visually and logistically as the show found its rhythm. Number 3. Jennifer Aniston's double. In season 9, episode 15, there's a blink it and you'll miss it mistake. For a brief moment, Rachel is talking to Monica. But if you pause at just the right frame, you can clearly see Jennifer Aniston's stand-in sitting in her place. It's one of the show's most famous production errors, and it's incredible that it made it through editing and into the final cut. These are the kind of details that make rewatching Friends endlessly fascinating. Number 4. Phoebe's French confusion. In season 8, Phoebe visits Monica at her restaurant, and when one of the chefs mentions the word sous, she has no idea what it means.
Phoebe, this is Tim, my new sous chef. Oh, so you're Monica's boss?
Actually, she's my boss. Sous is French for under.
Clearly showing she doesn't speak a word of French. But then, just one season later, she suddenly becomes fluent enough to teach Joey the language for an audition.
Je m'appelle Claude.
Je te flee.
Oh, mon Dieu.
So, what happened? Did Phoebe secretly take night classes in between seasons? It's one of those hilarious continuity slips where Friends forgets its own logic, turning Phoebe from confused diner to French teacher most overnight. Number 5. Rachel's birthday problem. Rachel's background details don't quite line up either. In season 4, she says her birthday is on May 5th.
When's your birthday?
May 5th, why?
And in season 7, her friends throw her a birthday party in May. But later, according to her driver's license, she's called an Aquarius by a police officer.
You're an Aquarius, huh?
I bet you're a Gemini.
Which would mean she was born in late January or early February. These contradictions might seem small, but they actually mess with the series' timeline. Events like her pregnancy and Emma's birth don't perfectly align when you start comparing the seasons. It's one of those background errors that only obsessive fans could catch, and they did. Number 6. Joey's ever-shifting acting career. Joey's acting journey is one of the show's most entertaining arcs, but when you map it out, it makes very little sense. In some episodes, he's broke and struggling to pay rent. In others, he's landing major roles or national commercials. The timeline of his success and failure doesn't really add up. It's another case of story over logic. The writers prioritized humor and pacing over consistency, giving Joey whatever career status worked best for that week's episode. Number 7. Monica's stand-in slip. In one scene from The One with Rachel's Date, there's a quick moment that only sharp-eyed fans have noticed. While Phoebe is talking to Monica on the couch at Central Perk, the camera cuts, and suddenly, Monica isn't Monica anymore. If you look closely, it's clearly her stand-in sitting there instead of Courtney Cox. It's a blink and you'll miss it production mistake, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. A perfect example of how even a show as polished as Friends had its share of background slip-ups that somehow made it all the way to air. Number 8. Chandler's job confusion. What does Chandler Bing do for a living? Even the characters don't know, and neither did the audience for years. Throughout the series, his job is described in different ways: data processing, statistical analysis, and even transponding, which became one of the most iconic jokes in the show.
What is Chandler Bing's job?
Something to do with transponding. He's a transponster!
But beneath the humor, this reflects a real writing inconsistency. The writers use his mysterious job as a recurring gag, but it came from genuine confusion in the script department. To this day, there's still no definitive answer. Number 9. Monica's closet mystery. In one memorable episode, Monica reveals a messy storage closet full of random junk that no one's ever seen before.
How did you get in there?
You're messy.
The problem is, the layout of her apartment doesn't actually allow for that closet to exist. It's a production detail that slipped through, likely because the set was modified across seasons. Still, it became one of those strange moments where the audience collectively went, "Wait, where did that door come from?" Number 10. The ever-changing Phoebe backstory. Phoebe Buffay's chaotic past is part of her charm, but when you start analyzing it closely, her story doesn't line up. At one point, she says her mother committed suicide and her father left. Then later, we learn about her twin sister Ursula, and in other moments, she casually mentions attending school or living with roommates. It's clear that the writers adjusted her backstory over time to fit the emotional needs of each episode. What started as a tragic, mysterious background slowly evolved into a surreal, flexible narrative that served the comedy, but not the continuity. Now that we've gone through the biggest and most noticeable mistakes, let's look at a few smaller contradictions and curiosities. The kind of background details that don't break the story, but definitely make you raise an eyebrow once you spot them. Bonus number 1. The ever-changing whiteboard. True Friends fans know that the magnetic board on Chandler and Joey's apartment door always has different messages in each episode. It became almost a running tradition in the show. But there's a little funny detail in the episode, the one with all the wedding dresses. In theory, the whole episode takes place in a single day. Yet the whiteboard clearly didn't get that memo because it changes several times between scenes. One moment it has one message, and in the next shot, it's something completely different. Obviously, the scenes were filmed on different days, but within the story, that makes no sense at all. A classic continuity error hiding right there on the door. Bonus number 2. The apartment lock mystery. Monica's apartment might be the easiest place to enter in all of New York. Throughout the series, anyone, Joey, Chandler, Ross, just walks right in without a key. But in season 1, during the Thanksgiving episode, when the underdog balloon causes chaos, Monica and Rachel rush out and the door suddenly locks itself, trapping everyone inside. Minutes earlier, Chandler had entered effortlessly, so the door clearly works, only when the plot allows it. The confusion continues in season 10 when Monica and Chandler lock everyone out of the apartment. Rachel, now living across the hall at Joey's, fetches an old key from a box to get in. The problem is, that key shouldn't even work. The lock had been changed back in season 8 when Rachel moved into Monica's apartment, making it impossible for any old key to open the door. Yeah, somehow she gets in. Bonus number 3. Ross and the ice cream contradiction. In season 7, Ross claims he doesn't like ice cream because it hurts his teeth. A surprisingly strong statement coming from the paleontologist. But throughout the series, Ross is seen enjoying ice cream multiple times. He shares a cone with Marcel, his pet monkey, and later, while dating Elizabeth in season 6, he's happily sharing ice cream with her. So which is it? Does Ross dislike ice cream, or is he just selective about when he enjoys it? Clearly, the show contradicted itself, giving Ross a sweet tooth that apparently only appears when it suits the scene. A small funny inconsistency that makes you wonder how seriously we should take his dietary preferences. Bonus number 4. The missing chick and duck. Joey and Chandler's beloved pets, the chick and the duck, suddenly disappear in later seasons. There's a passing mention that they died, but the timeline doesn't match up and their disappearance feels rushed. It's one of those unresolved details that still leaves fans wondering what really happened to them. It's a fun production slip that adds unintentional variety to one of TV's most recognizable locations. Bonus number 5. The disappearing Ben. Ben, Ross's son, is introduced in the first season and appears regularly as he grows, giving viewers a clear sense of his development over time. But as the series progresses, Ben starts appearing less and less. By the middle of season 8, he's seen for the last time, and in seasons 9 and 10, he's completely absent. What's even stranger is that after Emma is born, Ben never meets his little sister on screen. For a character introduced as Ross's child and shown growing up, it's a huge continuity gap, as if he vanished from the story entirely. A small but noticeable slip that makes fans wonder what really happened to Ben once he outgrew his early storylines. Even after all these mistakes and inconsistencies, Friends remains a masterpiece of television. Its success wasn't built on perfect continuity. It was built on characters, chemistry, and emotion. The flaws are part of its charm, and maybe that's what makes it so rewatchable. Every fan has their own favorite episode, line, or character moment, and discovering these small imperfections only deepens the appreciation for how much work went into creating a show that still feels alive, even decades later. But now I want to hear from you. Did I miss any mistakes or inconsistencies you've spotted in Friends? Leave a comment below and let me know which ones surprised you the most, or which ones you can never unsee now that you know they exist. See you in the next Couch Bingers.